Hi, Peter. Halloween was last night. Real quick, best and worst candy. Go.
Best candy, Twix or Kit Kat. Worst candy, chewy, annoying candy.
I'm sorry. Are we accepting chewy, annoying candy as an answer? Is that real? You mean like what, now and laters or candy corn? What are you talking about?
No, I like candy corn. I know it's surprising. I like candy corn, but don't give me a now and later. Oh, by the way, get your sweet tarts the hell out of here as well. I'm good.
Hot take. Chocolate with peanut butter, chef's kiss. Chocolate without peanut butter, overrated.
That is a horrifying take, Beadle. Horrifying.
No, it's accurate. From Wondery, I'm Michelle Beadle.
And I'm Peter Rosenberg.
And this is Over the Top. So here's how the show works. Best stories of the week in sports and pop culture face off. We crown a champion and answer one simple question. What is the undisputed most important thing on planet Earth this week? Now, we're going to decide it the only way we actually know how, which is to use Royal Rumble rules. We start with two stories. We decide which one is more worthy to discuss. After 90 seconds, a new story will be introduced. And we'll have to decide whether we want to keep talking about our current story or switch to the new one. We don't know the order of stories coming our way, but we do decide which ones get thrown over the top rope. Peter, what's up first?
All right, let's get this thing started. The first topics to enter the squared circle. My Washington Commanders sadly lost to the Eagles, but they did stop the Tush push. That will go up against. We are 1 week into the Wemby experience. Oh my gosh, this isn't fair. And it seems like Wembanyama might be really good. Is it Tush push or Wemby time?
Is it physically possible to tush push some fools over the top rope? I'm sorry, Peter. You knew exactly where this one was going. Maybe it's best that we get this out of the way. But Wemby,
hold on.
Stay where you are.
Hold on.
Why?
Let me give Sam Howell a little love. 4 touchdown passes, nearly 400 yards. There might be something there. Plus, here's the reason I'm going to let you get it. Number one, Wemby looked amazing, and I'm excited to talk about Wemby. And that's the first time I've been excited to talk about anything related to the San Antonio Spurs since they drafted David Robinson, and I was on the hunt for that Hoops rookie card. But also, we didn't really stop the Tush push. They kind of just dropped the ball, and we picked it up. So you know what? My commies and the Tush push, over the top.
Well, thank you for allowing me to get it, Peter. I appreciate that right off the top here. Yes, Wemby is, I saw him live and in person for the first time this week, and it was a spectacle and a treat. And even though it wasn't the most dominating performance necessarily, I will say this. I didn't think I had it left in my cynical, old, decrepit self to be surprised, shocked, and wowed. But this dude is a physical specimen in the sense of I've just never seen a human being move as gracefully as he does and be as tall as he is. We've seen tall dudes and we've seen dude moves, but I've not seen the two combined. And I think this is going to be maybe not a game or a year full of W's, but a lot of fun will be had. And you might be entertained.
Yeah, no, I agree. You can mark me down for enjoying something maybe as much as delicious Tex-Mex and the Riverwalk in San Antonio. I am down for a trip to see Wemby. First of all, the things he did, I just watched the highlights on Instagram essentially, and he already put together a highlight tape that was ridiculous in a couple of days. So I'm blown away personally by what I've seen. But also, and I'm curious to get your perspective on this, I don't think he's as fragile looking as everybody says. Like, I know that he's 7'4", 220 reportedly, and that is kind of crazy. But when I watch him, to your point, I see the grace, I see the movement. I think he's the real deal.
Like a gazelle, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Wemby, our next challenger is approaching. Almost a direct opposite in body types. Noted mayo drinker and banana peel eater Will Levis impressed in his rookie debut. So are we going to continue to talk about the rookie Wemby or the rookie Will Levis? Rosenberg?
Levis plays for Levis.
I like Levis. Let's just combine them.
All right, he plays for Tennessee, right?
Yeah, okay, that's a bad start to the topic.
It's a bad. Can I be honest? Can we be honest on this show? Am I going to hurt my credibility in episode 1?
What credibility? We got a guy putting mayo in a coffee cup. What are we doing?
All right, perfect. I didn't know who he was. I just didn't. I don't care. I know he put up sick numbers yesterday. I'm impressed by the touchdowns he threw and 3 for over 30 yards. Obviously, it's super cool. Him and DeAndre Hopkins are best friends, whatever. It's awesome. I think Wemby is potentially the future of the league. And I think Levis or Wevis or whatever his name is, don't hit your face that I wouldn't recognize on your way out. Over the top. That's my take.
Bye. All right, we're back to Wemby. What are you most excited about? Go. I'm excited for you to tell me.
Okay, well, you listen, you're going to get to see him up close and be a part of covering him. And I have not been near the man yet, but like from a distance, he just looks physically unlike anything I've seen. Like we've heard about the big man who can do so many different things, right? But I've never seen one that's actually above 7'1" who truly looks graceful. Like it kind of maxes out at like that 6'11", Dirk, Jokic, 10,
Kevin
6'11".
Durant, like that's like
Kevin Durant, 7. But this 7'4" to move and Michelle, how about the way he caught the oops? How smoothly he just goes up. I don't know, man. I think I'm almost willing to guarantee if that kid is healthy, he is rookie of the year, done deal, and he's a future MVP, done deal. In my opinion.
That's where my money is. That is where my money is. Here's the thing about him. When he figures it out, when he gets the ball, it is just physically and scientifically impossible for anybody else to get it. I did see a moment against the Clippers, Russell Westbrook is one hell of an athlete. We all know this. And he timed it perfectly. That he jumped and was able to but do you realize how perfectly timed everything has to be for you to even have a fraction of a shot to get in contact with the ball once Wemby has it in his hands? I will say this. There was a moment when I was on the floor and he fell during warmups. I held my breath.
I just don't like that he fell during warmups. That's my bigger concern.
I think that's part of the warmups is like this guy's got to learn how to fall and stuff. That's the thing. Isn't that what Tua did? He took jujitsu so he could learn how to fall. Something there.
Well said. Learn how to fall. You sound like one of those people who doesn't know about wrestling, being like, don't they teach him how to foul? All right. Who's coming down to the ring to try to take out Wemby? It is celebrity security guard Kane Kong. That's right. This guy knocked out another person while bodyguarding for some random Gen Z YouTuber. But the video went crazy. And I have to tell you, Beadle, I do have some thoughts.
You know what, Peter? It's not that I like you and I'm feeling generous. It's that I hate them and I'm feeling generous. So Wemby, we're going to have an entire season to talk about you. But if you could just gingerly and ever so carefully just show yourself out of the ring, that would be nice. We will talk to you soon. Weird generation influencer people, let's talk. Peter, I want to hear from you first because I watched this video and realized everyone in this video should be punched. Is that what we're supposed to feel?
You know what? It's a really good point. I didn't know, what the original guy who got knocked out was doing. But then in subsequent videos, I saw he was clearly obnoxious as well. You see that the girls involved appear to be completely over the top and are willing to just like get in some dude's face and throw their hands in his face and kind of shove him. Then you have the security guard who honestly at that size, like everything you do, you basically have to be considering assault with a deadly weapon when you do anything. And he decided to throw a pretty solid straight right. Then I had the odd feeling of being impressed by the kid who got up so quickly from the right hand. And furthermore, is there anything like seeing a fight when people are dressed up in ridiculous Halloween costumes?
It was the meeting of 1,000 mindless people that call themselves influencers and YouTubers. And I don't care if I sound every bit of my 48 years right now. I'm going to run with it because I'm watching this video and like, is that man supposed to punch that kid? I don't know. Is he not supposed to punch that kid? I wouldn't argue that either. And then you've got the two girls coming in with, what is wrong with you? Everything about it. I've never wished for just spontaneous combustion in a parking lot more in my entire life than I did watching that video. So kudos to you, sir. What was his name? Mr. Kong?
Kane
Kudos.
Kong? Is that his real name? Is that his birth name?
Yep.
He's so cute. What should we call him? He looks like Kane Kong to me.
He's adorable. Wow. All right. I don't know if he's got the staying power to hang out, but let's find out because up next.
Wow, who is it?
I'm scared to tell you.
Who
the
is
Jets
it?
and the Giants. They played football.
Oh,
they played football. I'll put it in quotation marks. Highlights came from the punter, and they also came from Aaron Rodgers throwing passes pregame. So are we sticking with the influencer YouTuber knockout punch? Or are we talking some really, really bad New York football? Peter?
For the second time in 1 week, some random YouTuber in a douchey costume is getting knocked out right over the top rope and onto the floor. We have to get some time in to make fun of the Giants and the Jets because, like you said it, football. I'm not so sure it was, quote, football, but 22 people got on a wet field and played a game that led to one team winning and one team losing.
I wanted to be excited for this game and I wanted to be thrilled. And I'm trying to find the silver lining as a once, maybe possibly again, Jets fan. I'm happy that they got the win. I'm glad we got to see the 9th string quarterback for the New York Giants, just in case you want to be backed up. And I cannot for the life. What?
I'm here to play some football.
By the way, there's nothing like listening to that game on the radio and you're just like, who in the world is Mr. DeVito? But I don't know what to do with Zach Wilson. I'm torn because I don't think he's as awful as everyone else says he is, but I sometimes look out there at him and I just see a scared boy, and then I see him rip a couple passes off and I'm like, do that. It's like he's got two personalities battling at all times in his own mind, and I'm scared for him.
Well, I'm annoyed with him because I spent last week being on sort of the Zach Wilson defender side of, hey, you know what? He's not playing great football, but he's put together a few games in a row where he's really looked improved. He looks a little more steady. He looks a little more confident. Maybe this could work out. And I have to tell you, if it wasn't for the last 40 seconds plus a couple of minutes of overtime, that was one of the most disgusting quarterback performances I've seen in a very long time. I would take Aaron Rodgers with no legs. I would take Stump Rodgers over Zach Wilson at this very moment.
Well, I'd take Stump Rodgers too, but just for the visual. I just think the visual of that's unbeatable. Fair enough.
You know what? Our final topic before the break is coming down that aisle, and it's Randy Johnson and the Bird. Oh, yeah. A very, very clever Halloween costume. I love it. Someone dressed up as Randy Johnson and the Bird that he famously killed with a fastball. You want to talk Johnson and the Bird or Woody Johnson's Jets?
I just love when you say Woody, Peter. Sorry, Jets Giants. Much like that game, I'd like to forget it ever happened. You are going over the top. Let's talk Bird Corpse and really timely references like this costume. This is a throwback, and these are not old people in this picture. So I'm actually oddly proud that they knew and they ran with it. And while we're on the topic of couples costumes, so help me, the number of Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift costumes, every single person that was responsible and guilty of doing that, thrown in jail, at least for 2 weeks. Just think about what you've done, how unoriginal you are, truly.
It's such a great point by you, Beadle. Here's the deal, okay? And now I sound like Joe Biden. Here's the deal, all right? My wife does not have a costume. We didn't do the work, even though we've been very into Halloween. We didn't do the work. Yeah, so what are we doing? Fair. We're gonna order the most basic, like, ghost skeleton costume, right? We're gonna be like the Karate Kid, the heels in Karate Kid, and we're gonna dress as the skeletons. Okay, right? Because we're saying we're lazy. We didn't do it, but we want to participate. Just do that. Don't do a stupid, bad Travis Kelce Tay-Tay costume. I'm with you 1,000%. You should be embarrassed. You should be unfriended. You should be removed from society. Jail time should be on the table.
And at the very least, you're not allowed to breed, right? Like, is that too far?
Who are you guys? Well, it was like late October, and we decided a Travis Kelce Taylor Swift costume would be really original. Like, if you decided this a month ago, the day it happened, I'd go, okay. But you've had a month to know better. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame.
Be creative. Be better, America. I'm worked up. We're halfway through the show. Right now, the most important topic of the day is couples Halloween costumes. It started with Randy Johnson. It ended with Travis Kelce. I hope it gets better, Peter. I hope it does. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Over the Top. I can't believe we left off with Halloween couples costumes, one of many of my pet peeves. But we do have another challenger, so go, Peter.
I know, fingers crossed, but at the same time, I love hating on Halloween costumes for couples. Point. How about the man walking down the aisle right now? Do you need a wheelchair, sir? You going to be okay? Oh, he's just fine. That's LeBron James, who played 39 minutes in a loss to the Kings on Sunday night. So much for a minutes restriction for LeBron James. You want to talk LeBron? Or do we want to hate on couples' Halloween costumes? And let me just add, he's sort of a topic constantly. This is kind of a nothing burger. I mean, we knew he was going to have days when he plays 39 minutes and he'll have days when he plays 19 minutes.
Dude, he's not on a restricted minutes because he's running the team. We've already seen him yelling at Darvin Ham on the sidelines. I want to talk. Go. Do the right thing here, Peter.
Bye, LeBron. Now, be careful on your way out. Okay.
Oh,
but he's out.
He never gets hurt. Okay. Couples costumes. Biggest pet peeve about couples costumes is
everything. I mean, I'm willing to do it because we just got married a few months ago. And my wife is adorable and wants to do sweet things. And, you know, we want to, I'm down. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm down for. I'm down to do the most basic $12 Amazon costume. The couples who just go too far, the ones who are doing full like makeup where it looks like, what about the celebrities who legitimately hired, like it's not a costume. You're actually like in a movie now. This isn't a costume. This isn't Halloween. You're paying someone $2,500 to get you to look like that. It's too much.
It's become, look, I am almost a reformed Halloween celebrator. Ever since I moved out of LA, I haven't done it as much, but I used to be the over-the-top house with the over-the-top animatronics and all the good candy and all that good stuff. And I love the idea of getting dressed up. But for me, Halloween should be fun, not an excuse to dress like a slutty nurse, a slutty priest, a slutty this, just be original. Like, this Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing, which will be obviously the thing we all talk about once, Halloween that's what happened this year. Be funny with it. Maybe they could be corpses. Maybe you could attach a Brittany Mahomes doll that just sort of follows you guys around like a crazy person. Add some zazz to this, people. Don't just be basic like Taylor Swift.
Oh, that's a hot take. And by the way, Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce would actually be more interesting. But whatever, go ahead.
Okay, I don't hate it. Whoa, who does that hear? Do you hear that music, Peter?
Who is that?
He can. The Broncos. I can't believe I'm about to say something nice about the Broncos, but they played songs by the newly minted billionaire Tay-Tay in Mile High Stadium after crushing the Kansas City Chiefs. The petty was on full display. So are we talking Broncos with the petty, or are we talking Halloween couples costumes? Are they sticking around?
We got enough done on the Halloween couples costumes. You got to bounce. You both look very cute, and we respect your nod to history, but get the hell over the top rope because things need to be said. Furthermore, Beadle just dropped a bomb in episode 1. Tell us about how you hate Tay-Tay.
I don't hate Tay-Tay. I just find, look, because of all of this inundation and just shoving it in our faces, I've done some research. I've watched the videos. I've listened to the music. And what I can tell you is, it ain't for me. I'm 48. None of that stuff applies. The lyrics, it's all boy crazy. I don't think it's great. And don't try to sit there and tell me it's deep and profound. It's not.
Okay.
It's just a girl with a crush over and over again.
I love where you're at. Shout out to the Broncos because the Shake It Off thing was a very cute and well done troll. I enjoyed it. Here's my take on Tay-Tay. Okay.
It's their only shot to talk smack. Give it to them. Yeah.
Just like you, I'm not knocking her talent, you can hear the music right away and be like, oh yeah, this is a good tune. I see why someone could enjoy this song. But here's my issue: when adults who have been inundated by Taylor Swift by their children and now have to go to their concerts are become fans of Taylor Swift. What I find so annoying is people come up to me and they go, did you know that she writes her own music? Have you heard her songs? She's so talented. Oh my God, I haven't seen a concert like that in years. And then I go, stop. What was the last concert you've seen in years, period? Do you even listen to other music anymore? Do you go to anything? Every adult who tells me how amazing Taylor Swift is has not consumed any new music in 25 years. I don't care about your opinion.
I don't either. And she doesn't write it all by herself, for the record.
Fine. She's good.
Ask Max Martin. He helps write some of those songs too. P.S. for the record. Okay, how far can Tay go in the show today, Peter?
Taylor Swift has a big matchup.
Oh, this is perfect. Here it comes. Our next challenger. In his first ever pro boxing match, former UFC champion Francis Ngannou lost to Tyson Fury by split decision.
I was all in on Fury and Ngannou. I paid the $79.99. As a result, deserve to talk about that. So I think we should. Yes, you do.
As much as it pains me to say adieu to the young Taylor Swift, somehow I feel like we'll be talking about her at some point in the next several months. So I don't know any of the lyrics to her songs, but I'm sure something applies here. Use that.
Shake it off. Just shake it off.
I can't do it twice. Is that the only one you know? That's the only one we know.
Blank space?
The idea.
Find yourself a blank space on the floor outside the ring. I
see what you did there. And by the way, for those parents that are only going to Taylor Swift, they're also going to the Jonas Brothers concerts. It's the same group. It's the Venn diagram of hell.
Thank you very much. I did fork over the $79.99 on ESPN Plus so I could consume Fury and Ngannou. And yes, the fight took so long to get started that even though I ordered it at 2:00 Eastern time, I had to leave my house at 5:45 Eastern time. Fight still hadn't started. It's okay. I'm not usually thinking on Riyadh time, but I did end up watching it, gathered around with other people, huddled around my cell phone. And I got to tell you, Ngannou may have lost the battle, but he won the war. People can argue about whether he was robbed or not. I know a lot of people thought he was. I don't think it matters. It wasn't for the titles. It wasn't an official bout in that way. The only thing that matters is that the world saw finally one of these MMA stars could work as a boxer. So much so, in fact, that he put the world champ, the most dominant heavyweight of his generation, Tyson Fury, on his back. That was a huge win for Ngannou and a huge win for MMA in general with regard to all these crossover fights.
But is it a huge loss for boxing? Because if you're telling me this guy can come over from that sport and knock down the dude that's been reigning supreme in boxing, well, I feel like the optics have to be bad for someone here.
I mean, you're right. The boxing's been taking L's for so long. All they need is other people who will make the sport more interesting. And I think Ngannou does that. All right. Wait, whose music? Whose music is that? That's familiar. I hear the voices of some British lads from Liverpool. The Beatles are releasing their final song later this week titled Now and Then. They used artificial intelligence to enhance John Lennon's voice. You want to stay with Fury and Ngannou or go to the Beatles?
Hold up. You know what?
What?
Okay. You had me at AI. I am so sorry, gentlemen. You are very large men and you could crush me with one just look from your faces. So if you don't mind.
These guys over the top rope?
I'm not going to physically be able to do it. I'm asking them if they could cooperate and just show themselves over the top. That would be all right, sirs. This is blasphemy, is it not? This is up there with hologram Tupac. And I don't think I'm okay with it. I'm all for making as many dollars as you can posthumously. Obviously, money reigns supreme and we all want to make it even when we die, apparently. But the idea that you're enhancing the long dead John Lennon, what is this? And where's it going?
Well, I'd have to know, I guess. Let's break this down. Let's have to really know what level of enhancement we're talking about. I mean, if vocals to the song already exist, but they're sort of rough and they can use AI to just sort of bolster, I don't hate it. If it's a song that, let's say, was only Paul or, George, and they're now adding John Lennon who never sang the song, then I have a bigger problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the thing. It's a little weird. I mean, Beatles fans, what's funny is that we just talked about parents whose musical tastes have been so influenced by their kids, they don't remember the last concert they went to. This will apply to those parents. And I'd like to see how the overlap looks when it's all said and done. But I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, I'm just imagining like a T-Pain AI treatment of John Lennon. Now I'm just kind of back in because now I want to hear it.
They're not going to auto-tune John Lennon. It's going to sound
You don't know.
It's going to sound like John Lennon.
It's creepy. And aren't we at strike or something for all of this? I'm in LA and there's people striking. This AI thing is weird. Ew. Ew. Touche. All right, our final story of the day. I need to take a second. It's very rare that a story touches me as much as this one does.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I had tissues ready, but I'll make it.
I can't believe Beadle doesn't. Beadle, how does Beadle not root for the Beatles? Let's see what happens. How touching will this story be? That'll make Beadle.
That's how you know it's big. We're sticking with music, but Flava Flav sang the national anthem before a Bucks-Hawks game, as he would. And it was epic. Some say interesting. I say iconic. Are we talking the Beatles half coming back from the dead for a brand new song? Or Flava Flav seemingly rising from the dead to sing the anthem at an NBA game in a city in which I don't know what the connection is? Peter, go.
Oh, man, this is so hard for me because, like, I love Foofy Foof. Flava Flav is my dude. I love him.
Don't do it.
And he did pretty well. He really did. But to be honest, I can't take Flava Flav doing a average at best rendition of the national anthem over the last song by maybe one of the greatest, one of the greatest bands of all time. I'm staying Beatles here. I know that's surprising, but I'm staying Beatles.
No, this is a major moment. Okay, what else is there to say? They're just going to make a weird song with AI, and it's really the Beatles. It feels weird and cheap and creepy. Flava Flav was live.
So you're saying that as time goes on, we're never going to really listen to this Beatles song anyway, but this Flava Flav moment will live on
forever. Does the Fergie moment live on at an NBA All-Star game? Does a Carl Lewis moment live on?
You know what?
Does Roseanne Barr ring a bell? I mean,
the logic was so good, you're getting the full Jimmy Hart treatment. That was sound logic, baby. I'm going with Flava Flav. You changed my mind, Beadle.
Now I feel bad. How do you show a couple deceased men and a couple living gentlemen out of the ring? I don't. What is the proper protocol?
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so I got to
see you later.
Well, bye, Beatles. I want to listen to a bit of Flava Flav singing the national anthem. A bit. I want to listen to the whole thing over and over again. But let's hear a skosh, if we may.
Oh, say does that star spangled banner yet wave?
Bring it on home.
Or the land of the free and the home of the brave, of the brave, of the brave.
Oh, wow. It makes me proud. I'm so proud.
The only disappointment I really have, 'cause let's be honest, he exceeded expectation. My biggest problem is that Flav didn't add a boy at the end of the brave.
You know why? Because he took it seriously. And I, of course, spent way too many minutes trying to figure out why Flava Flav, why Milwaukee, what is the connection? Because he's from Roosevelt, New York. I couldn't figure it out. And then it was just simply, it was a bucket list item for him to sing an anthem at a game. I mean, has there ever been a more relatable superstar, Peter? That's all of our bucket list items. All of us have that.
I honestly can say I have no interest in ever singing the national anthem at an NBA game, but it does make perfect sense when you think about it. He's not going to get MSG or Barclays Center, right? No. Who are the Bucks getting on a random Sunday night against the Hawks? They don't have a ton of options in Milwaukee. I'm sorry. Let's be real. Flava Flav has a lifelong dream. Give me the home of the brave, boy. It's time.
Boy. Well, now I have to look up Milwaukee musical artists because I'm sure there's a list that we don't know about. You know what Milwaukee strikes me as? And I kind of love this sometimes when they have little kids do the anthem. When the little kids are good. When you shove a crappy little kid singing out there, points off. Don't love that. I'm so excited. Wow. It happened. It happened. Peter Rosenberg. We have come to a decision. There you have it. The undisputed most important thing on planet Earth this week is Flava Flav's rendition of the National Anthem. I was hoping secretly that this would be in the show and that it would make it to the end. Did we get it right?
I think we did.
You don't seem convinced.
No. The time on Flava Flav's giant clock necklace has struck midnight. This is the hour for Flava Flav. I'll tell you what, it really did do the rounds though, man. Everyone loved it.
As they should. He's a lovable man, and I miss his reality shows, and I hope this means more Flava Flav. And I just like saying it because I've never sounded cooler than when I say Flava Flav. I'll stop.
Oh yeah, no, totally. That's what all the kids are saying right now is Flava Flav. And furthermore, don't we all, not me, because I've always been on Team Cap. So many people owe Colin Kaepernick an apology. The man was exiled from sports over the national anthem, and now they'll just get Flava Flav to go out there and sing it. Let's stop taking ourselves so seriously. Thanks.
Thank you. I think that was well said, Peter. Way to get serious at the end of the show. I wasn't prepared for that mentally.
It's the more you know. That's it for us. Tune in next week to determine the only thing you need to care about and what goes over the top.